friends, it's me, Nadine Nardine. I'm so glad you stopped by my kitchen to have a cup of coffee with me and have a chat. People do, they do it all the time. They stop in and ask all kinds of advice, and I tell them all kinds of things because I just know things. I do. Mama called me America's greatest know-it-all. People think it was a criticism, but it's not. It's a compliment because it's true. I know all kinds of things, and people do it, and everything works out just fine. Now, Nadine Nardine, I'm not a psychologist. I got a cousin, Elizabeth. She's a PhD in psychology, but she's not the kind that sits down and is nice to you. She works in a little old cold lab with a bunch of pointy-faced rats. But she thinks she knows a lot. She thinks she's a know-it-all. But people don't like her very well. She's tight and rigid. One day, because she's so tight and rigid, I said, and yes, I'd had one glass of wine, and I said, Elizabeth, if you just kept that same stick up your butt versus changing each day, you could save an entire rainforest. I don't think she was happy with me, but I don't think she dates very much right now. Anyway, people write me letters, and they write to me at this P.O. box, and I'll show it to you at the end of our visit today. And they ask questions, and I just like to answer them. So here we go. Dear Nadine Nardine, that's me. I'm divorced. Oh, we get a lot about the divorce. And my wife and kids live with her boyfriend in our old house. Somebody's got to get the house, so honey. I have a hard time with this because the kids really like her new boyfriend and everyone's all happy there. That's actually good news. What if they hated him? That would be worse. The boyfriend always answers the door every time. Oh, well, you know what he's doing, honey. He's peeing on the bushes, so to speak. Everyone likes him. The kids don't stop talking about him and all the fun stuff they do. I know I should be fine with this, but I'm not. Signed, bummed out with the new guy. It is hard when one person moves on quick and perhaps the other person moves on slow. But what do you expect? We're not meant to just hold still and do nothing. We're not made of stone. Everybody's got to sleep with somebody every once in a while, and not one of them weird plastic dolls. Like I saw that movie, Lars and the Real Girl. Do not tell my gentleman friend that I saw that. He would be upset. Do not tell him. Don't. It was rather interesting. You need to sleep with a real person, though. And everybody needs to do it. And if she went on quicker, women kind of do that sometimes. Now, here's the problem. Your kids come bouncing into your Ford Ranger and you got a double buckle because she's got the van. And they start babbling about this new guy. Can we call him Fabio? Because to every guy that gets dumped, the new guy looks like Fabio. And here you go. You go up to get your kids and he answers the door. Hello. And he's got like an 18-pack and muscles rippling for God knows ever. And he's got a wind machine. Hello. She is in bed. At 11 o'clock in the morning, you know what that means. Peeing in the bushes. I will get her, and I will get the children. And then you wait for an interminable amount of time, and they come bouncing out and getting in your Ford Ranger, and now comes the chat about Fabio. Fabio taught us to play soccer. He knew Pele. I don't know who Pele is, but apparently he was important. Fabio taught us to grill beef from his personal ranch. Fabio has a ranch in Brazil, and he's going to take us on a helicopter ride and tour his giant ranch in Brazil. It's the size of the entire state of Rhode Island. How come you don't have a ranch the size of the entire state of Rhode Island? Right about now, I can imagine you would like to stab someone in the eye, but you can't do it. Because what are you going to do? Start saying mean stuff about Fabio? A, it makes you look terrible. B, it's going to make the children feel terrible. And you love your children more than anything if you're a decent sort. So what are you supposed to say? I have a tip. You're going to say a word, and it's only 2 letters, even though it's 3 letters long. You just say this non-committal word, and you get a goofy look on your face. Kind of like, Kathy, is Uncle Clem down at the shop? It's my Uncle Clem. He has a bit of cognitive decline. And so you just do this. You say, huh. H-U-H. Huh. Right? Kids can say, how come you don't have a ranch in Brazil? Huh. I don't know. Huh. That's another one. H-M-M. See, these are so small letters, you don't even have to memorize much. Huh. And then flip on that radio and hope Garth Brooks or something like that comes on. But then if it's too sad, flip on classical. That'll shock them. Do not get engaged. You ever fished? Sometimes kids will say stuff and you'll just bite. And sometimes they'll say stuff very provocative, like, Fabio said my mama was the best bang in town. That's a true story. And what do you say? Because she probably wasn't the best bang in town, I'm just saying. Or maybe she was banging all around the town. You can't say it. Now, If it happens to everyone. My good friend, have I talked about Penny Ann? Oh, my good friend Penny Ann. Have you heard about Penny Ann? Hoyt left Penny Ann for Bambi. Y'all know Bambi, don't you? Oh, God, she's 15 years younger. She's 55 pounds lighter, and she teaches pilates down at the Y. Good God. Penny Ann is crushed. First of all, she's a woman of size, and instead of being a woman of size who enjoys her size and just knows that it isn't about how big or small you are, it's about how confident you feel as a woman. I don't care what those dumb ads say, and I wish Jenny Craig, no disrespect, would fall into a hole. You need to be comfortable in your skin and as healthy as you need to be with your physician, and that's that. But Penny Ann don't know that. She's always bemoaning how big or how small she is. So right now, we got Bambi, and she's this big. And here's the thing. Oh, my land. The kids love Bambi because she's skinny, and she teaches pilates and the Zumbi down at the Y, and she writes poetry on a web blog, a blog. Oh my God, I've surfed over there on the internet and read that poetry. Have you ever read any Bambi's poetry? Here's what it goes like. The length and depth of my long, painful life. It's horrible. Plus, how can she have a long, painful life? She's 26. It's ridiculous. And the other thing is, the kids are now all into Bambi's way of living. Because Bambi is a vegan and a lactose intolerant and a gluten-free. And I don't think Hoyt likes it because Hoyt likes meatloaf. But he's getting something for it. And the other thing is they're living in Bambi's aunt's house, her Aunt Mildred, and Mildred's younger than Hoyt. It's awful. And so what's the sum total? Penny Ann's mortified, and she's mad, and she hates Bambi. And I think she'd like to pick Bambi up and put her in a box and mail her someplace where women aren't treated very well. I don't know. Penny Ann hasn't traveled, so she's not sure what the country is, and I'm not inclined to tell her. The other day, finally, I caught her ripping on Bambi to them kids. Them kids like Bambi. She's young, and she's fun, and she's different. And I came around the corner because I was picking her up because we was going to go over to Piggly Wiggly. And I caught her doing it, and I had to jerk her into the dining room, and I said, look, Penny Ann, you've got to stop it. You've got to stop it. And I talked to her about the Ford, and how you can't put them kids in the middle. I made her practice it 14 times. She was not happy with me. Well, the other day, I got to tell you, because the neighbor told me, and I know I'm scratching my nose, something's bugging me. Is there some kind of dust in here, Kathy? Well, can we do something about the fan? Anyway, Penny Ann has to go pick up the kids in her giant Chevy Blazer. At least she got the Blazer. And of course, Hoyt's nowhere to be found because he's ashamed and chicken, and the neighbor don't like him. Guess who's out front picking tomatoes, because apparently you can eat that on her special millennial diet. And she's wearing cutoffs cut up to there, and she's doing pilates or some sort of something that looks like Cirque du Soleil. Good Lord, the neighbor thought there was going to be a trapeze coming right down from the sky. And the kids are so excited. And in they come to the car talking about Bambi and some new thing. Twins get in the back. And Penny Ann's oldest is named Crystal. She's 14, and she slides in the front. And I have to tell you, I've never really taken to Crystal. I just haven't. And maybe it's the name, and I'm sorry if your name is Crystal, but I've always felt that the name Crystal carries with it some amount of risk, especially if it's an alternate spelling, Krystelle. I think with that alternate spelling, you're looking at some clear heels and a small amount of jail time. Anyway, Crystal leans over to her mama, and she's babbling about Bambi. And man, Penny Ann's holding for dear life onto that big old Blazer steering wheel. God, they make them cars good. And she says, my hand to Jesus, she says, Bambi and I have been talking about yours and Daddy's marriage because a 14-year-old girl's a mean little thing. I'm going to talk to you again next time about 14-year-old girls and how mean they are. And I have known many 14-year-old girls. They're wonderful, but they're awful. We'll talk about the amygdala next time. Anyway, she looks at her mama and she says provocatively, like she's fishing for me, we've been talking about your and Daddy's marriage, Mama. And here's Penny Ann holding that steering wheel, and she says, Bambi told me that if you had just eaten vegan and eaten the kale and all that stuff and had done gluten-free and had done the pilates, Daddy probably might not have left you in the first place. Oh, Penny Ann, She said, huh, huh. Good for you, Penny Ann. She did it. She did it. I was so proud of her when she told me. I thought she was going to bend that steering wheel in half, but she didn't. Because guess what she did? She was the grown-up. Because what do them kids need? Even mean old Crystal. They need their parents to be the grown-up. Hoyt wasn't being the grown-up because what is he doing? He's messing about. Is Bambi being the grown-up? Nope. But in that moment, Penny Ann was the grown-up. She didn't bite. She didn't round on Crystal and kick her out of that car, which many of us want to do. She held her ground and she was elegant in that moment. That's what I encourage all my friends to do who are in that spot. These Bambis and Fabios, they're shiny and new, but they're not the parent. They weren't there during the attachment times when everybody has the demon spawn devil flu and everyone's barfing and pooping out of every orifice, and the parents are there helping. These people are there to be good companions if they're decent, or if they're crappy, the shine is going to wear off of them new toys. You're the mama, you're the daddy. Chin up. Say, huh. Give yourself a pat on the back, take a deep breath, and zip it when it comes to saying mean things. All right, I gotta go because my gentleman friend told me he's gonna meet me at that new little restaurant. And I'm not gonna tell you the name of it because you'll come and it'll get crowded. But he's gonna buy me some brunch and some more coffee. I'll see you next time. This is Nadine Nardine. Bye now.